Various speakers at the Upper West Region's Women's Forum have called for justice for the 12 minors who are alleged to have been sexually assaulted by a 35-year-old alleged pedophile in the Wa municipality of the Upper West Region. According to them, swift and decisive action on the case will serve as a deterrent for others. The alleged pedophile, Rashid Ahmed Anata, was remanded into police custody in Wa last Monday and will reappear at the court on Monday, August the 14th. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
Speaking at the Upper West Region's Women's Forum, senior lecturer in Sociology and Gender Studies at the Simon Diedon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDDU-based Dr. Constance Awumpaka Akurugu, noted that gender-based violence is widespread across all countries in the world, and Ghana is no exception. Narrowing the situation to the Upper West region, Dr. Awumpaka averred that the situation is worse due to the patriarchal nature of the society, who sometimes silence women from talking about the abuses they go through.
Women are often seen as inferior, subordinate to men, and gender-based violence is all situated within this context of the cultural norms that are receptive, that are so tolerant of abuse, forced marriage, widowhood marriage, rape, and economic violence, various kinds of violence that we can think of, emotional, that women go through. And also we live in a context where it is seen as a taboo to talk about issues like gender-based violence, which are often seen as private matters or matters that belong to just the domestic space.
She waded into the issue of 35-year-old alleged pedophile Rashid Ahmed Anata, who is being remanded into police custody and accused of sexual assault on 12 minors. She called on the powers that be to bring him to justice in order to serve as a deterrent for others.
They may not be high and mighty in society, they may not have voices, but we are their voices, and I'm using this opportunity to appeal to all the people who matter in this case to ensure that justice is done and that the judgment is very soon, so that these girls at least will see that justice has been done, so that also people in our region who think that it is okay to take advantage of unsuspecting girls and to violate them, deny them of their innocence and childhood, will see that our region does not have tolerance for sexual violence.
A view shared by the Upper West Regional Director of the Department of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Charity Baturi.
The law enforcement agencies are on his case. Once it's in court, we allow the experts in the court to do what is right. We are counting on justice for these innocent children, and we know we'll one day look back and be happy that we fought for the voiceless and we did what was right when we needed to do it, because the future depends on this generation. What would it benefit you and I if we watch on for their lives to be destroyed?
The Upper West Region's Women's Forum was organized by Network for Women's Pride, NetRight, in partnership with Noble Care Foundation. Focal person for NetRight and lecturer at SDDU-based Jane Frances Lobnebe noted that the biggest challenge faced by women in their region is having access to capital, and which she will want the government to take a serious look at in order to better their lives.
A lot of women, if you look, when the economy is in crisis, it's women who suffer the most. And so with the COVID and the aftermath and all the crisis, financial crisis we have with the banks collapse and all that, if you look at some of the smaller banks that were collapsed, majority of the people heads were women and women-related businesses. And so that has really disempowered a lot of women economically in this region. One of the access to loans and financial resources. That is one of the, I think there are fundings and various streams of fundings that are being channeled into areas that if we have just a quarter of it channeled and made available towards specifically women, that would be one of them. So financial intervention or economic interventions. Yeah.
Some participants at the forum share their thoughts.
This program, I would say it's timely because it has come at the point where women are always sitting aback, making sure that they leave everything for the men to decide. So having this program has taught me that no matter the situation, if you are a woman, it doesn't mean that you are limited. You can fight for what is rightfully yours, and you can also go a step ahead and contest in various positions that are not solely meant for men. But
I heading a girls model, this workshop will not only be beneficial to me, but of course whatever I'm going to take home from this place will be impacted on the girls, because our goal is that the girls should speak up. Once they have started or once they are learning to speak up from the basic level, they will grow up to be responsible women who, whenever they are faced with any challenge, they will be in the position to speak up without any intimidation.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.